what's the solution? Let's go dancing. What are you doing? The
Yep.
world ends. You go dancing. Terry, horror movie survivor guy tip. When the world ends, you go dancing, right?
Which I do as often as I can. Absolutely correct. Let's go dancing, kid. And so that's what you got to do. And so we dance in this apocalypse for sure.
Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
And best friends, Terry Gamble,
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and subgenres,
classic and cult,
international,
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up Horror Movie Survival Guide tips
to help you stay alive. Yeah. Oh my God, Julia.
Yes.
I'm just like, oh, hold on. No, he doesn't clap. He plays the drums. He plays the drums.
He
Hello.
does. Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide. I am Julia.
And I'm Terry.
And this week we're talking about 2025's The Monkey. Title of this episode is Everything is an Accident. Tagline for the movie is Everybody Dies, and That's Fucked Up. This is written based on the story by Stephen King from Skeleton Crew and was adapted and directed by Osgood Perkins. I got to see the very first public screening of this movie before it premiered when I was in LA at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood, which is a fantastic theater. And
Yes.
Osgood Perkins was there to rile everybody up. So it was sold out. That theater seats near 1,000 people, I think. It's very big. And you know that more than anything, my love of going to see a horror movie is the noise of joyous disgust that a crowd makes when something gory happens that they are super into. And that was this movie for like 2 hours. It was just people going, "Wah!" and it was the best.
From start to finish, baby. I mean, this one, woo. I wrote down a 5. I'm letting the kids know right now. We're going to get to Gore Factor later at the end of the show for sure. But from the beginning of this movie, we're getting entrails. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah. And this movie has such a fun, curious tone, and I can't think of another Stephen King movie that is anything like this. The decision to turn it into a horror comedy is a whole other thing.
So what was the tone of the book that it's based on?
It's just really serious. It's really like, we found this monkey and it's killing everybody and it's fucking up our family. And like, they aren't twins. There is brothers in the story, but they aren't twins. And it kind of goes off the rails in the third act as far as this one is concerned. But like, it's not funny. It's not a funny story at all.
I'm sorry, but a monkey killing is kind of, I'm sorry, but that's inherently, I think it's one of those things where Julia's like, it's a serious thing. And I'm like, Julia, that's actually, I think that's comedy.
Sure. And obviously Oz Perkins saw that and was like, I see what I can do. And I enjoy what, and it was a brave move. And I think it worked out because he didn't want to do a straight serious one, which is interesting because I feel like the movies we've watched of his early movies are quite serious. So now he's swung into this other direction of like, what if it's kind of silly, fun too?
Yeah. And it's I actually, of course, because I love horror comedy, I was like, thank fucking God. Sorry.
Need a little levity after App Pupil last week, huh?
App Pupil almost took me out. We do the Stephen King for his birthday month, and it's just like, oof. Some of them are really brutal. Like, they are. They're very dark. Some of them are just really, really sad. Depending on the era, I feel like of King too, because we got a nice little smattering of like kind of some early stuff, some middle stuff, and then like we've got a nice little smattering of the eras, I think, through this birthday month this year. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
The Monkey was one of the titles that was on the Dollar Baby list for a while. So I do believe there are Dollar Baby versions.
There's probably a bunch of adaptations of it then, yeah.
So they're not technically supposed to be online with the contract through Stephen King, but now the Dollar Baby program's over. Who's really paying attention? So you could probably go on YouTube and Google a couple of different versions of the Monkey if this one does not
you do
suit
that?
you. I have not yet.
Okay.
But I saw one at King Con, I think. But I think that's it. So I think it's, and then this is one of the things I love about Stephen King is that the story that I read, the story that Osgood Perkins reads is not the same story, but it is the same story. And here we are.
Because our brains make it a different story. Isn't that like, it's incredible. So I do love that. I think it's a beautiful thing about life is all the different perspectives. So
and creating art is pretty great too.
Yes, art begetting art for sure. And so inspiration where we can get it, right?
Okay,
So
so
yeah.
let's meet. Let's open up. Oh, I should mention off the top, by the way, in the story, he does have symbols. The monkey does have symbols. The reason the monkey does not have symbols is because it is copywritten by Disney because they bought that monkey with symbols for Toy Story, and so now he couldn't use the monkey with the symbols, so it has to
So
be a
he's a
monkey with a drop.
drummer now.
Yeah,
That's
that's why
so
it's different.
funny. Because I was like, "Wait, oh, so that is why I was confused. Okay, so
Uh
it's
huh.
not just
In your
me."
brain, it should be a symbol, and it is a symbol, but
Yeah,
it's
because
not a
usually
symbol
that's what
because
that
of.
toy does, right? Whenever you
Mhm.
see those little monkey toys, that's what they are. Interesting. So we see a man in a pawn shop shows up covered in blood to return a toy, and you see a
Uh,
little sign on this wall that says "No returns on children's toys," and you know it's about to be messed up because that monkey is super fucked up.
and a surprise Adam Scott just coming on in. A lot of little cute cameos in this one.
Yeah.
And we get a back and forth where he's saying, we got it. He wants to sell the monkey, can't they doesn't want it. We're all fucked to hell. And then a harpoon, it goes off. It does its drumming. A harpoon goes
It
and
does that thing where it's like a booby trap or like one of those like, it's like very Final Destination, right? Where it's like a series of unfortunate events. You're like, "Oh no,
mhm,
that thing is gonna trigger that thing, is gonna trigger that thing." So we get to like kind of watch it like along the way as like a very Final Destination style of like, "Oh, that guy is about to get horribly murdered." And he's still cognizant and awake as a harpoon goes through his stomach, but then his entrails get pulled out and he gets to watch his entrails get pulled out of his body.
mhm, yeah.
Gorgeous.
And so then Dad, Petey Shelbourne, decides he's going to flamethrow the monkey, which he does. But then we're going to cut to 1999, Hal and Bill. I could not tell when I was watching this movie if this was one kid or two kids playing this role. This is Christian Convery. This is one person playing young Hal and Bill. Theo James obviously is the same as well, but he's so good. His mannerisms are so different. He's like I was like, I can't tell if it's
He's
another kid
great,
or
they're
not.
different people, like, the way
Yeah,
he really nails, the parent trap of it all,
he's
right?
he's got the this kid has the Stephen King thing, and
Yes.
it's that thing I can't explain, but he does. PD later on does not have that thing, and I was like, "No, he's not a Stephen King kid. Other kid is." But it's
Really?
that's how I don't know. It's a
I thought they both
how
were pretty
to
strong
explain.
Stephen King kids, but I know what you mean because that kid, what's his name from Harrigan's Phone? He's got that
Jaden
thing, like
Martell. Yeah.
yeah, they have that thing where it's like, you could see it like 1,000 miles into their eyes, like, if they have that
Mhm.
1,000-mile stare in their eyes, but also they're very open, but also, like, I like that he was both the Stephen King kids, the Hal and the Bill, because he
Yeah.
had the hardness for freaking Bill, who's
Mhm.
like kind of a rough kid and like got that like bully energy versus Hal, who has that like I'm the kid who gets beat up energy, which are both
Mhm.
Stephen King tropes for sure.
Yeah.
Um, as I've learned along the way, Julia.
Mm.
Right? And so of course they're twins and they, as twins do, they have a love-hate relationship with each other, as you do, competition from the beginning. Who ate most of the placenta? He's the one who's harder. He's the one, they have like all these little like things they're talking about. Um, and their dad had left and they are dealing with the aftermath of having a single mom and what that means. And so they're both very attached to her, but um they also are going through dad's old stuff and they happen to find the faded monkey along with the boomerang and some other weird stuff.
Yeah, they explain in the story that his dad was like a merchant marine who brought back all of these treasures from around the world, and they had this closet they used to go love to find treasures in, and find the monkey, organ grinder monkey, like life. Turn the key and see what happens. And
Yeah.
humans, when you put that right next to a key, turn the key and see what happens. You're like, well, I mean, I got to
You're
do
gonna
it,
push the
right?
button.
Yeah.
When you say don't push the button, whether you say push it or don't push it, we gonna push the button. Like that's like right? That's
Hmm.
unfortunately it's horror movie survival guide failures. Like right, we will always push the
But I
button,
get
turn the
I think
key, do the
sure, but
thing.
I
Like you
think,
have
the
to.
the horror survival guy tip of it all is like the genius of a being, whatever this monkey is, right? We don't really ever learn like what its deal is, whatever's possessing
Right.
this demon thing. The thing is, it's playing on that human weakness where of course you'll turn the key. So like you
Yeah.
don't have to wait very long before somebody else. But I like how nebulous its powers are because it gets flamethrowed, it gets put in the
Yeah.
bottom of a well, it gets chopped up, and all these things. You're like,
And
we
it
don't
like
know how it's
oozes
putting
some
back
sort of
together, and
like we
yeah,
don't know if it's
and it's
blood or
following them
whatever.
coming back other places. We don't know what's going on with it at all. So it's this very kind of what exactly is it? And I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah. And so, I love this little line too where he was like, Bill's like, "I'm next of skin," like, instead of next of kin. I was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
that's kind of what a kid would think he was saying for sure."
Mhm.
And so he's like, "It's mine." So, they take it and their babysitter, Annie, who's gorgeous and just an adorable, sweet little babysitter, comes to pick them up and she takes them to a hibachi dinner. Delightful. It made me want hibachi dinner so badly, but also I was like, "Oh, this is a great place to murder somebody." And it proves to be exactly that, where, Annie's eyeing the hibachi guy who's chopping it up, and as they do, if you guys have never been to a hibachi dinner, it's delightful. They do like a whole show with the knives and like usually like light stuff on fire like on the grill and do like a little like a volcano of onion or whatever, like all kinds of fun stuff for you, right? So he's giving her the full show. They're eyeing each other. It's like but the hibachi guy is going to lose track of where his knife is. It's going to go right through Annie's little neck.
Yep, and Bill had turned that key before that dinner, so they both watch their head as it slides off and onto the grill. And what we learn at her funeral that her name is Annie Wilkes, which we know and love from Misery.
Yep.
Haha. The stoner priest was slaying me in this. Well done.
He's great.
10 out of 10, no notes.
Great clergy, just, like, trying to give this eulogy, and it's just it's all over the place. It's a hot, beautiful mess. And
But
so mhm,
I think I think that like the crutch of the movie, I think after the funeral, when the
with
boys
mom.
are eating ice cream with mom, she says everything is an accident or nothing is an accident. Either way, same thing. It's not if or even how. It's only when.
Yeah, "You'll die, I'll die, we're all gonna die." And she's like, "Some people will have horrible deaths, and some people will have fine deaths." So, like, it's that is true. It's like, you could call whatever things that happen, you can call them accidents or you can call them, on purpose, right? It's the same outcome either way, right? So, I think that that's a really great, I don't know, through line and, like, also a great setup for the movie because 'cause you're like, "Well, we've already seen a horrible death. We're about to see a bunch more, aren't we?" And we're like, "Yep, we are."
But
So
what
and
is
she says,
mom?
"Let's go
What?
dancing."
Yeah, that's mom's solution. Let's go dancing. So they all dance together, and I think a nice moment of happiness. But then they're going to go back to school, and Hal is going to get bullied, and they're going to take his pants away. Poor Hal.
Yeah, so he goes through a series of getting bullied and, the monkey had not been in the room, they'd gotten rid of it, but it was like ends up back in the room and Hal's like, "Mom, why'd you put the monkey in a room?" She's like, I haven't been back in you guys' room since the stiff sock incident." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember those eras. No, you don't want to be in there." So he's like, "Oh yeah, you right." So he's like, "Well, this is in here." So he talks to the monkey, about the babysitter. He's like, "Did you kill her?" He wants to know as he's talking to it. And Bill is like, "What are you doing talking to my monkey? That's my monkey because I'm next of skin and whatever." And he's like, makes, Hal's, declare his love for the monkey and marry it and all his intentions with the monkey and all this stuff. And so he basically gives the monkey to Hal. And so now it's in Hal's control. So, of course, what's Hal got to do? He got to turn the fucking key to see what's going to happen.
But he's going to make a request of who he wants dead, and that would be Bill.
I
That's who
wish
he
Bill
wants
was
dead.
dead.
Wish Bill was dead, but
That's a
instead
Stephen
he
King
is going
name. Got to be a
to
Bill.
always
Yeah.
and ends up killing his mom, whose brain explodes out of her
She
face,
has a
and it's
boomerang aneurysm, which I thought was interesting because we saw a boomerang earlier that was in Dad's
mad.
Merchant Marine stuff. And I was
Mhm.
like, "Ooh, they're kind of combining stuff and like using like little pieces of stuff that they've seen along the way." Yeah, and mom dies a 1 in 44 million chance of getting this type of thing, which is basically like some horrible thing that somebody's got to die from at some point.
Sure, and they say the monkey like death. Kills who it wants when it wants and doesn't take requests. So
Correct.
Bill has a very sad breakdown at the funeral where he tells his mom to get up and she does not, and he realizes what's really happening, and he continues to wear that suit for the rest of the movie, basically. That
Yeah, the
same
funeral
suit.
suit because he's like, "Well, if I take it off, someone will die." Basically, because people have died every time, and he's like, "I don't want to have to put it back on, so I'm just gonna keep it on forever, so then I don't have to worry about someone dying." And so he keeps making iterations of it, and it just gets tighter and smaller, and he has to add pieces to the bottom of it, which is kind of delightful as he gets older. But they move in next with Aunt Ida and Uncle Chip, who are a couple of swinging swingers who never wanted kids, and they are wild and fun, and they're gonna do their best to raise these kids, but they never had intentions for children. They don't have any setup for them. They put them up in the attic in this like dusty old attic with like no help and no. I mean, it's bleak.
It's great. Osgood Perkins going in there with his little cameo, his little director cameo, being all sleazy. It's pretty awesome. So you go, okay. He says, I like that Uncle Chip says, they wanted a life where you sit and don't get up again unless you want to. And I was like, I'd never thought of it like that, but okay.
Same. I was like, I don't have kids, and I like it because they don't because the kids will wake you up. Kids, but now I have my cats, and I guess
No,
they'll
you
wake
have
me up
cats that
too.
wake you up. You have to get up
What
for
the
them.
fuck?
So I don't
They
know.
make
I
they
don't
wake me up
know.
so early sometimes. I don't know. I choices were made. Um, but
So
yeah,
Hal freaks out and cuts the monkey up. It bleeds, and he puts it
it's like
in
a
a
black
garbage
goo
truck.
though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and throws it away. And then they move to Maine in Casco, Maine. But it follows them there. And Bill decides to turn the key, and he's like, "Okay, well, let's see. Let's maybe it will kill one of us, but maybe I can find out. Like, it won't kill me because I am turning the key, and it can't kill the killer, the turner of the key. So it's a
Is what he
hypothesis."
hypothesis. He's not sure if it's true, but Hal already knows that might be true. No, 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 no. So yeah,
Yeah, but it is a kind of thing, that kind of power, and I think Stephen King writes a lot of stories like this where somebody comes into this kind of power where you know you're going to do something to somebody, but it's not you. So what if
yeah.
I just did this thing?
So let me just do
Uh,
this little thing. But Bill also like waxes poetic about the babysitter because he was like, I was gonna marry her. Like he was like so in love with her. And Hal's like, yeah, I know, man. I know you were. Like she was amazing. It was so sad. But all
uh,
of a sudden, Chip is gonna die in a very terrible hunting accident, getting trampled in his sleeping bag, and it looks like a puree.
yeah, wild horses, and you go, okay, well, there we are, and then let's jump cut 25 years later. Aunt Ida is still living in the same house. Here's the circus music that plays when the monkey is revved up and ends up falling. And this is, again, like you said, like a Final Destination kind of setup where you're in a basement where you can get hurt by a billion things in this place. And so she ends up falling through some stairs and getting some fishing hooks in her face, which you're like, oh, that's pretty bad, but not as bad as setting your own face on fire after you put
Or
a
because
bunch of
she goes
hydrogen
and picks
peroxide
alcohol to
on
take the
your,
hooks off her face. So she's
yeah.
basically putting solvent on her face that is going to help expedite the gas leak. Mhm.
But that's not enough because she also runs screaming outside and impales herself on a for sale sign. So really well done. The gore and effects in this movie, no notes. 10 out of 10. Well done.
Top
The
notch.
cuts, the
20 out of
edits,
10. 20
the
out of
freeze
10.
frames, like everything. I'm into it.
So delightful. So, yeah, it's great, and I like it's not even that, she also walks into, like, the milk jar outside, like, on her foot while she's, like so it's like
Mhm.
there's, like it keeps, ramping, 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 like, everything, like, gilding the lily, if you will, beautifully, though. Um, so we see her horribly die, and then we cut to, a horrible meetup between Hal and his baby mama and her new man, Ted, who is played beautifully by our dear Elijah Wood.
We
Wow,
love
what
you,
an asshole.
Elijah.
In this role. Like, he's great as this very shitty, expert in his field man. He feels like one of those manosphere, like, YouTuber guys or whatever. Like, he's just
I
got
don't
a
I
lot of
don't
high
even know
hopes
what you
of
mean
him.
by that, and I think I'm glad that I don't know what that means.
You are it's for the best, Julia, but it's like one of those
Okay.
guys who just thinks he knows, everything, tries to come off as sensitive man, but also is just a shitbag. And he's like, we're gonna adopt Petey and you'll never see him again. This is your last week to see him, basically, is what they
So the
set
whole
up.
crux of it is that adult Hal has stayed away from his son because he thinks that he is dangerous because if people around him die a lot. But of course, Peter doesn't know that and doesn't can't see it that way, and he just thinks that his dad doesn't like him. But they do have this last week together. They go to Horror Haven, Heaven, one or the other. Sounded
Yeah.
great. It's an amusement park that's horror themed. I want in. I think Las Vegas is building a horror themed amusement park. I could be wrong about that.
They
I thought
have
I
a
read that
Halloween
somewhere.
Horror Nights that's there all the time now. It just opened. Like, that's
Oh, okay,
happening, like,
that's what it
Universal
is.
just did. It's year
I
round now.
see.
So it's year round
Okay,
horror nights,
that's
which is
smart.
super dope. I know, I kinda wanna go. Not even kinda, I do wanna go. Send us tickets. Okay, thanks. Okay, so, we have a PO box. I'll tell you where to send it. Okay, great. Or you can email us. Okay, great. At weareintosurvival@gmail. Okay, thank you. So there's an estate sale that's
Mhm.
happening, at Aunt Ida's place, and so, this guy Thrasher, who's, very like, what is his name? Eddie Stranger Things, that one guy who's like
Eddie
the rocker guy.
Munson, yeah.
Yeah, he's got giving that vibe, like, but just a little rocker guy, and he sees the monkey at the yard sale and he decides to grab it. Um, but for some reason, he looks into the eyes of that guy, and he has, like, visions of his dad, and he's something about it. He feels connected to this monkey, and he's like, I gotta have it. So he gets the monkey, takes it home to his weird ass family. His mom is just sitting there on, with her smokes and, hanging out on the
And
couch.
Beauchamp's just chilling in his out military outfit. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's like his little Marine garb. And so
His
he's
name is
like, yeah,
Beauchamps? What?
yeah, Beauchamp. So I don't know. This random ass characters, wonderful. This is like the slice of life. I was like, this is what we want. This is so good. And so but Hal has a dream. He's like, I threw that thing into the well, and like, but he has a dream that he gets thrown into the well, and he has like a weird kaleidoscope dream and all this stuff that's happening. And so, he's, freaking out because he's feeling like that monkey's been revived somehow because he is connected to it still. So there's something that's still pulling him to it. Because he was like, I can't guarantee where it is. I thought it was in the well, but somehow it's not anymore. He can feel that.
And Bill and Hal have been estranged for the last 10 years and have not seen each other at all. But now Bill calls and is like, hey, what's up? We know the monkey can teleport and you know it. So, what's
And
up
he
with
says, the
that?
monkey must be vanquished.
Yeah, so Bill
Yeah.
has clearly not his mother's death broke him and he never recovered, and he is in this, the monkey, whatever power it has completely infiltrated his mind and turned him bonkers.
He's also like Arrested Development. He's the one that was like,
Hmm.
he did not move on at all kind of from that moment. He still acts like he's 12, like even like his jokes and the way he like interacts with people, he's still very stuck in that era where Hal seems like he's like 800 years old. He always kind of seemed that way, I guess, a little bit too when they were younger, has that
Hmm.
older energy about him. And so it's just an interesting kind of like push pull between the two where even though Bill is technically the older one by a moment, whatever, since they're twins, Hal still seems to be like the one who's like got the older mentality about himself. So while he's hanging out at this motel where he's there with Petey, he sees a girl horribly get electrocuted and decapitated basically by jumping in the pool that gets lit up, which is an awful way to go.
The
Um,
effect, thumbs up,
it's
thumbs up.
very,
So
very
much fun.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
S-
but also
So they
very
go,
scary. I'm always scared of that. I had a friend who actually passed away from an electrocution at a pool, which is
oh, oh,
crazy. It was a turnstile,
wow.
like an old-timey turnstile, like, at the pool, like, at a public
Uh-huh.
pool. Anyway, sorry. Very random, but, like, when I saw that, I
They
was like,
got they got electrocuted by a turnstile?
yeah, like, at the
Wow.
pool while they were wet. Mhm, and they died.
It kill they wow. I
Isn't
didn't
that it's
know
so I'm
about
sorry,
that.
it's so random. I was like, that's a very a fear I have had in my head since, like, childhood since that happened to one of my
What's that?
friends. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
That's a real one for me. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's a real
Okay.
one. Okay, yep." And then when she was about to rock it, I was like, "Oh, she's about to die horribly." As soon as I saw the live wire, I was like, "Yep,
You never
gotta be
told
careful."
me
So I
about
always
that.
when I'm at a
That's
pool, I'm always
crazy.
looking around, like, at, like, any electrical stuff that's around a pool. Just be careful.
Wow. I'm so
You
sorry
can
for your friend.
it was isn't that weird? It's like that's a
Yeah.
anyway, sorry. It's a very random thing. I was like, "That yes, that really can happen." So always look out for anything electrical around a pool and to be very careful.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So they leave the hotel, go to another hotel,
Yeah.
and then PD convinces them to take them back to an Ida's house to look around. The real estate agent lets it slip that Hal has a brother. So PD has been doing this ancestry thing for school and has told him that Hal told him that he had no siblings, but now finds out he has a twin brother and that he lied to his face. And so now he is dutifully and rightfully upset.
Yeah, he's pissed. And I love this realtor though. She's just like, no, 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 no. She's like chatty Cathy happy, keeps talking. Oh my God, Bill. Bill is great. Oh, what a live wire. Oh my God. I'm like, you're like, oh girl,
Yeah.
you foot, mouth, keep going. Just keep going.
It's just like
Um,
what it's just one of those people that you're living in a persona, and the question is, does that persona ever slip? Right? Because I know some people
yeah.
who are like that, who are like on all the time, and I'm like, when does it come off? When do you stop? Like you don't have to be in real estate agent mode. I don't, but the performance,
That's how
good
they
job,
live.
good job.
But that's how they
Yeah,
live. And I think mostly whenever you meet anybody like that, that is for survival and generally a trauma response.
yeah.
Or you're in your sales mode. Not that I know as a front-facing salesperson a good amount of my time.
We
Anywho,
love you.
I
So
love it.
people have been dying in Casco over the last week. A lot,
Yes.
a lot, a
Weird
lot.
deaths too. So we find out like there's a series of events. Um, yeah. all kinds of bad
So
things. But
she's going
also, yeah.
around.
Mhm.
So he's looking for the monkey. He doesn't know if Bill has it or if it's at the house. So he's there looking for it, but he knows that anything can happen. So he had tried to get Peter to stay in the car, which Peter did not do. So they are upstairs looking for the monkey when the real estate agent opens a closet and gets her head. She just basically explodes, pretty much.
Yeah, she
Explodes.
gets shot. It's like this booby trap that's set up there that looks like one of those, it's like a series
It's
of
like a
booby traps around this.
cartoon.
Yeah, it is like a cartoon. But also I feel like there's another movie that I feel like I watched recently that had a bunch of like things like that too, and I can't remember the name of it right now. That's okay. Um, but it's really fun to see kind of this like little ramp up of like the like each day what's happened in town. They're like, yeah, after she's like, as a matter of fact, after the yard sale. So it's like something that's where started, like where it was unearthed, because it was
Yeah.
like, a guy died a lady died on the golf course from like what was it?
Python, cobra, some
A
one or the
cobra.
other.
They're like, "We don't have cobras here." And you're like, "Nope." She's like, "Well, there was the one." So it's like all these freak things, the lawnmower accident, like there's like all these different things each day that happen to these people, and it's they're all really funny and kind of
And
like
we get
Final
the
Destination-y.
yeah, the
Mhm.
entire cheerleading team cheering the police bringing the body out of the house, just insane stuff. So Bill calls Hal again and he tries to call him back. He's listed in the phone book as Mrs. Monkey, and
Yeah.
his message says that he has it. So now he knows he's got to have go back and see Bill. So Bill went down back as a kid, went back down the well to get the monkey, but it was gone and he left the key behind. So he knew that he was going to see him again one day. So he's just been lying in wait the whole time waiting for this monkey. So it's like a
Yeah.
god to him.
It is. Well, he's like, "I'm connected." He knows he's connected somehow. So he is like, "All right, well, I gotta get Petey here," because he's like, "If Petey turns it, that'll probably finally kill my brother," because he's trying to kill his brother now too. And so, but we also have Thrasher, our little like Eddie Munson looking guy, who's like
Mhm.
wants the monkey as well. And he's like, "I gotta get that monkey back." So he poses as a police officer and comes and holds up Petey and Hal, and is like, "Okay, take me to the spot." So he takes him to right up to Bill's lair, and Bill's lair is the old Casco hotel that he's built up as a fortress, and it is riddled with booby traps as well. And like some of them, Petey, as he ends up having to go into the house into the hotel, is like, "Oh, that's actually kind of cool." And you're like, "Yeah, those like samurai swords, like dope." Like it's like literally like a 12-year-old, like I said again, like Arrest Development, like was like,
Yeah.
I got these great ideas for booby traps. Let's go.
So they end up we have the inside versus the outside. The outside in the car is Thrasher or slash Ricky holding a gun in which he accidentally shoots a hole in the windshield, which leads a trigger to the hornet's nest, which leads all of the hornets to just go into his mouth and then eat him from the outside, inside out.
Inside.
And it's
Mhm.
really gnarly,
As his
really,
jaw
really
falls
gross.
off as the
Yeah.
weight of all the hornets in his mouth.
Hmm.
Disgusting. And Bill runs into the fortress to go see what's something with Petey. Petey has made it inside, and of course, Bill, what does he say? The first thing he says to him before he goes inside, he's like, "Don't turn the key, whatever you do."
Yeah.
What's the first thing Petey gonna do when Bill hands
Turn,
him the monkey?
turn the key.
Yeah,
But Bill says he wants Petey to turn the key because it will he will never die. He gets to keep it forever if he always turns the key. He doesn't ever die. That's the theory. And he goes, okay. Um, and so we get in a lot of like the Bill just being such a strange character. Can you get a grasp on him?
again, he's like I said, he's just I think, like, if you go back to him just being, like, very Arrested Development, do you know what I mean, though?
Hmm.
Like, he was stuck in that moment. Like, some people, when a death like that happens to somebody so close to you, like, you can tell he really, really loved his mother. When that type of tragedy happens to you, sometimes it will, like, as we've seen many times before, it'll twang you, right? And it'll leave you in that spot, and he's trapped. And so he also has been on this revenge mission so long where he even like was like, "Wow, you asked me how I'm doing?" Like even when Petey's like, "How are you?" And he's like, "No one has ever asked me that in years. I don't even know," because he hasn't had regular human interaction for so
Yeah.
long that he almost doesn't even know how to like be a human anymore, because he's just been like revenge, 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 sharing a hive mind brain with this monkey this whole time. Um,
But
he's
then,
a
when Hal
weirdo.
asks him about it, he's like, "Hey, what is this all about? What do you why?" And he's like, "Because you killed my mother." He's like, "Well, she was my mother too." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, forgot about
I
that."
didn't
Like
really think
that
about
isn't
that.
Yeah, it didn't even cross his mind, like, he's in a whole nother world. But he tries to force the monkey to go down, and he can't get it, and he ends up getting hurt, but the monkey goes
Yeah,
into
the monkey won't
crazy.
listen to him. Yeah.
Yep, and now he is in crazy hyper mode because the monkey starts banging that drum way faster and harder than we've ever seen it, and we know that things are getting bad, and so this movie the second half of this movie is so different from the story. I will just say that before I get into it. But I will say
Mhm.
this movie has the guts to be like, hey, what if we just end the world? What if the monkey just like ends the world? What if that
Yeah.
happens? You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm kind of
So the
into that.
monkey's just inciting so much carnage, so there's literally bodies falling out of the sky from, like, airplanes and, like, just, like, everywhere around the whole city. There is just, like, literally across half the town, it goes up in flames. And even we love, our cheerleaders and everything too are gonna get it.
Yeah, it really because Bill ends
Yeah.
up they have a moment of, they might be brothers again, and then Bill ends up through his own booby trap Rube Goldberg machines getting incredibly killed badly. But they end up just kind of driving through the apocalypse, and they had mentioned in the movie several times the death on a pale horse, who we see literal death coming across the road. Not time for Hal yet, but he's gonna get there. And what's the solution? Let's go dancing. What do you do when the world
Yep.
ends? You go dancing. Terry, horror movie survivor guy tip. When the world ends, you go dancing, right?
Which I do as often as I can. Absolutely correct. "Let's go dancing, kid." And so that's what you gotta do. And so, we dance in this apocalypse for sure. So,
So
and we keep it
this
he also says we keep it close because the PD's like, "What are we gonna do with this thing now?"
right.
And Hal's like, "We keep it close, accept it that it's ours, we hold it tight, right? And that's all we can do, and then we go dancing." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Where'd you get that idea about dancing, though?" And he's like, "Oh, from your grandmother." And he's finally telling him stories about, their family and life, because 'cause they're all they have left for each other, really.
Mhm. And they probably don't have long to live, but that's cool. So the story Bill and Hal aren't really a thing. He does have the older brother that is in there, but it's
Mhm.
really about him. He has another son, and he also has a wife in the story. And so they are on
Okay.
this trip. He's lost his job. Things are not looking good. Like the son's kind of drifting away. So he decides to go back to Aunt Ida's house and get the monkey and drive and row out to the middle of a really deep lake and then drop
Mhm.
the monkey in the thing, which he does. And then as he's rowing back to shore, like the boat's falling apart around him. And so he just barely gets out. And then, but he survives and Petey is there. And then the very last button on the end is that lake within the next couple of weeks had all of the fish had died in the lake and they were all floating to
Mhm.
the surface. And that's the end.
Mhm.
So it's a little different, a
But a
little.
similar idea though, right? Where it's like instead of, the town is the lake.
Yeah.
Right, this time, and so it's like, the carnage is everything around them, which is kind of similar where they kind of go out. Um, that's so funny. Anywho, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, we survive by dancing. That's the survival, I guess, right? I
Yeah,
love that.
and really, and this is the whole point of this movie is that, and horror movies survive like a tip, like how do you survive the monkey? And like you don't have a choice. And in this world,
It's
it
all
isn't right.
random.
It's all
Yeah,
random.
everything's an accident, right? Yeah.
Yes. So it's that kind of thing of and I think what the line of like where you can believe everything's an accident or nothing is an accident, and you have a comforting thought versus a really desolate thought, and like what if we just push in that desolate direction? You're like, well, it's possible
It
for
is
sure.
both. I think that's always like, we talk about that a lot, or at least I know I do about like the coin toss of life. It's like all of our greatest strengths are intrinsically tied to our greatest weaknesses, right? It's like, oh my God, they're so giving. It's like, why do they have nothing? You know what I mean? It's like that whole,
Hmm.
always that thing. It's like, well, you can be bleak, but also you have to have that set yin yang of like, yes, we're all gonna die, but we also all get to live right now, right? So it's
Hmm.
like it's the same thing at the same time. Every day I'm living is the same as the amount of time I'm diving, right? Like it's just like we're coming to this point. Um, Absolutely beautiful.
I
Gore
get
factor, yeah?
yes, please.
Not enough blood to fill a Dixie cup. 2, a puddle of blood. 3, enough blood to gross out the average viewer. 4, a bathtub of blood. 5, if you didn't already know, kids, I think I talked about it at the top already. Yeah, I did. It's a 5 because we got harpoon and guts, like, literally, like, 2 minutes into the movie.
Yep, amazing. Chainsaws 1, if you're desperate, barely qualifies as a horror film. 3, seen worse, seen better. 4, not too shabby, and 5, fantasticorical. So it's a 5 for me, and it's a story that I had not really given much consideration to, and I do think that it takes what's in the story and makes it a whole different thing. There's parts of it that it's because, you know, I think we talk about like when somebody adapts Stephen King, it's fun to watch. Like, I feel like this is a Stephen King film, but it's very much an Osgood Perkins film, right? Like, it feels like
Mhm.
the same kind of thing. So it's clearly filtered through this very unique direction, and I think it's
Yeah.
cool to even think about doing it because he doesn't have a lot of horror comedy on the list. Stephen King,
No, that's
really.
no, no.
Like, there's some
Uh,
like creep show stuff, right? And some like more goofy, like
yeah.
comic-y stuff, but for the most part, he's not like a
And Maximum
Chuckles.
Overdrive, let's be honest.
Well,
Anyway, but he probably wouldn't wanna talk about that either. But that's a full 5 for this is a 5 for me too. I freaking love this from beginning to end. I couldn't wait to see what was gonna happen next, and even though I know everyone was gonna die at some point, I was just like, "That's great because I know that at the top because the mom just told us, like, there's gonna be some mundane deaths, and there's gonna be some really, really awful ones," and I was like, "That's what we got." Like, throughout this whole
yeah.
movie, there was some stuff that was, like, not a little more pedestrian, stuff that was, like, absolutely fantastical. All brilliant. I really like the message and just like the thing of like trying to run away from your family, but your family's always there.
Yeah.
Like or the elements of them, like you can try to hide from it, but it's like no, you're still carrying that with you. And that, that baggage, that history, that all is going to be with you. I thought it was pretty freaking great.
Yeah. Yeah, a bold swing, and I would say he hit it out of the park.
Oh
So
yeah.
well done to him, and cool to see him be so flexible. And you know, you look at this, and then you look at Long Legs, and you're like, they don't seem like they're made by the same person at all, right? Like that's pretty cool to be able to switch around. And or if you look at Gretel and Hansel, which is so incredible as well.
hmm
Like so,
Style king. He's a style king. I mean, that's
I
like
love it.
some really cool some those are all I would say that what the through line of all of those films is that they're all very cool.
Yeah, and we're
And
going to be covering some more movies of his
yeah,
later that I haven't seen, so I'm excited to see those as well.
yeah.
So thank you for listening to us talk about The Monkey. We are celebrating Stephen King's birthday month. If you would like to talk to us about him, you know I'm down. You can talk to us on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and we also,
Patreon.
yeah,
Like,
Patreon.
follow, subscribe here. You can also leave comments here at YouTube as well. Please do. Let us know what you think. Share with your friends. Tell them about us. Any questions you got, please throw them down in there in the comments as well. Um, and you can also check out Julia. Did we talk about your other podcast? All your
We haven't
podcasts?
yet. I
Please
have a
tell them about
podcast
your other
with
podcast.
Okay, it's called the Losers Club about Stephen King. If you want to listen to me talk about Stephen King some more, I also do another show called JodoWOWsky, which is all about Alejandro Jodorowsky and his films and comics. And then I also did a Stephen King film myself through the Dollar Baby program
Excuse me,
called I Know What You
what?
Need, that you can watch on Arrow's Player
You
service,
need
or
it.
you can DM me
Watch
for a
it.
link. You should see what I'm
Yes.
about. Is what if you want to see what Julia Marquesi plus Stephen King equals? Here you go. That's
Honestly,
the movie.
yes. It's delightful. It's like it makes me want strawberry ice cream right now. As
Me too.
well. Delicious. That's what it feels like. I was like, wait, it's really strawberry pen here. There we are. Strawberries. Nom
Ah.
nom 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 nom. Um,
Tell them about Horror
and
X, Terry.
I know. Oh my God. We also do a show the last Thursday of every month. It's live streamed here on YouTube called Horror X. You can check it out there on the George A. Romero Foundation or through a playlist on our YouTube page as well. You can also get merch at our Teespring store. What else, Julia? Anything else this week? Did we have a great Stephen King month? This was our last one for
we
right now.
did, and it was a thank you for going hard. I always appreciate that you're willing to talk to me about his stuff. You know what a best friend you are. You really are the most patient, and I adore you so much. I would say it's hard to say for this movie because the movie just is like, you could die at any time. So I would say be careful, but in this world, it doesn't really matter. So I have fun. Go dancing.
Live your life and have
That's a
fun and
good one.
dance. Go out dancing this week. That's what I'll say to the
We
people.
should be dancing. Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. Have a great week, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening. Horror Movie Survival Guide is independently produced by Terry Gamble, Julia Marquesi, and Sierra Ryan. Hey, that's me. If you would like to support the show, find us on patreon.com/horror movie survival guide.